morning, viewers, and welcome to your newspaper review on your morning dew. And it's your wonderful host, Modo Dominic, and with me I have my co-host. So starting from my right.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Modo.
Good morning.
My name is Dapo Loroto. Good to have you.
Thanks for coming. So, sir, engineer, how are you? How's your weekend been, guys?
My weekend was wholesome and stressful. Nigeria police showed me shaggy.
There is no week without their dramas.
Even in advance, the ones they will still do, I'm forgiving them.
Well,
as long as you are a car owner or a car user in Nigeria, you must have an encounter with the Nigeria police. So,
how is yours?
Well, not bad, not bad. What about
you? So, could you introduce yourself to my viewers out there?
My name is, as usual, Oladipo.
Yes, Engineer Oladipo. It's so good to have you guys on board. So this is your morning dew, and today we'll be looking at the newspaper review. And first, let's take our motivational quotes for the day. And so, Dr. could you
tell us that? The motivation for the day is by Pastor David Ibioyome. He says here that love motivated giving is the covenant gateway to kingdom prosperity. Love motivated giving is the covenant way to kingdom prosperity. In other words, I think he's citing that from John 3:16, the popular scripture. Yeah. For God so loved and he gave. So where love is, there is giving. And where there is giving, there is receiving. You know, as far as the kingdom of God is concerned, you give, you receive. Yeah. And that's the way to work, because 1 John 4:8 also attests that God is love. So if the nature of giving is traceable to love. Where there is love, there is always giving. Yeah. Imagine that in a house, imagine that between friendship. You can trace that to business, wherever love dwells. And that's missing though in our community today, in our society, particularly in Nigeria. And among politicians, they don't like us. We know they don't love us. But Jesus loves us. Yes. And God loves us. The Islams, you know, they know that their Allah loves them. So we are all fine. Yeah. It is God that is taking care of us. That's what I can say. Yes. So, but based on what Pastor David Ibioyome is saying here, is that love motivated giving is a covenant gateway to prosper. When you give, you stand a chance to have the blessings of God, you know, abundantly. And that's the called prosperity. Yeah,
thank you so much for that. So quickly, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go right in to the paper review. So stay tuned and go nowhere. We'll be right back. So welcome back. It's still your morning dew, and it's the newspaper review. So first, we'll take a look at what the Punch has for us today, being the... Okay, so let's look at what Punch has to say. Federal government arraigns 12 suspected oil thefts. You know, this happened alongside Cameroon-bound vessel. So we have that. So let me take that, the story. It says the federal government has arraigned 12 suspected oil thefts in connection with the intercepted Cameroon-bound vessel laden with 150 metric tons of stolen crude oil. Wow. 150 metric tons. So going further, would also look at, still on the Punch, we have workers kick as governor borrows 2.2 trillion naira from the bank. You know, so that is still the story, still on the news, on the Punch newspaper. So going further, we also have Senate just up for ministerial screening, awaits list this week. So quick story on that. It says with 5 days to the end of the 60 days constitutional window, the Senate is expected to receive the list of the presidential ministerial nominees this week. the president's senior special assistant on media and publicity, Tokpe Ajayi, is on an interview with The Punch on Sunday, said that ministerial list will be out this week, so we're still expecting the list, so let's await the names. He went further by saying that the 1990 constitution stipulates that the president and governors must submit the names of persons nominated as ministers or commissioners within 60 days of taking the oath of office. So that we'll still find in the Punch newspaper. So that's all that we have on the Punch newspaper before we go into Vanguard. So let me start with Engineer Ola. So what do you have to say to the story we have on the Punch newspaper?
Well, what I have to say on
so which story are you starting with?
Let me start with the
suspected oil theft?
Yes, the oil thieves aboard that vessel that is Cameroon bound. Well, it's a very good development from the side of Nigerian authority that they are taking steps to be able to curb smugglers of oil smugglers in Nigeria. This is a very good thing. If they can continue like this, kudos, we'll be able to save a lot of money, from the theft of oil in this country. Because it's so rampant that there are lots of creeks in Nigeria that they are not discovered.
Yes.
And then before now, I cannot submit fully that the federal government does not know anything about their activities. But if they can start taking steps and arresting these illegal oil theft, then we would see that the economy of the country will change drastically. And then Nigerians will be a bit relieved from the hardship we are going through right now.
Okay, so anything else you have to say on that story?
Well, for me, I love the way the Punch put it. They said oil thieves. They used to say oil theft, you get. People will be corrupt, you say it's corruption.
You try to fine tune it.
All these English words they just used to steal from us. For me, they are thieves. The police, caught, was this 12?
Yes, 12.
Yeah, 12 only thieves. They stole our crude, and the report showed that they set the crude ablaze.
Yes.
Or so. So and that is what I don't really understand. Were they not supposed to recover, like when we recover money, funds, stolen funds, we are not supposed to burn it. We are supposed to take them to appropriate quarters for, to
refine and then sell.
Deposit that into the economy or something.
They burn the vessel.
So what I'm saying is, are they not supposed to hand over that to the regulatory body for oil and gas
without having to take such action,
without having to set ablaze the vessel?
I cannot say, but I believe there may be a reason behind that. There may be a lot of under the carpet activities that should not be known to the public. Otherwise, there will be no reason for them to burn the vessel.
Well, for me, I believe there's so much attached to such decision making.
So, because I think it's not wise that we caught a thief, some group of thieves, and then recovered what they stole, and instead of handing it over to the owners, you set it ablaze. I don't get that part of the story.
I think something like similar to that has happened before in the past. And according to what we learned from the press is that they burned the ship together with the documents. Maybe they are trying to hide the real identity of the owner of the vessel.
Exactly my thoughts. Exactly my thoughts. But let's hope that proper investigation would be done as regards that. So workers kicks as governor borrows 2.2 trillion naira from bank. What do you have to say to that?
What I have to say on that is that this too much borrow
is becoming alarming.
Now, if the state governors borrow such amount of money and not is being done, I mean, in terms of clarity, okay, this amount of money you borrowed, how did you spend this money? Can you account for such amount of money? And these governors will come out and say they are unable to pay salaries. They'll be appealing for loans for the federal government that, okay, please bail us out. We are unable to pay up staff salaries. What do they do with all this amount of money? And at the end of the day, they don't pay back this money. And becomes a very huge debt for Nigeria.
Yes, and according to what we have in the story, it shows that the LGA already owes bank about 2.21 trillion naira as at March 2023. So it's enough reason for them to want to kick against the reason for them wanting to, you know, still get another loan. And the annoying part is that we end up not getting you know, account for how this money is being spent, what the reason why they get this money, and it is not being utilized the way it should be, and it really calls for concern, and I really believe that will be looked into. So we also have that Senate gears up for ministerial screening. Either of you, do you have what to say?
Well, we are waiting for what the senators will do about this. Of course, we have not seen the list. There have been rumors around that blah blah is there, blah blah is there, but until when the list is out and we'll be able to know who and who is in the list, and at the same time again, if the president is slowing down a bit, because maybe from the fact that came to him that some of the nominees may have cases to answer, maybe fraudulent cases or something like that, he has to change the list. But we don't know of the list now because we are not sure of the people that are on the list. Okay. So until when the list is out.
But the point you're making here, according to what I can see here, is that it is almost 60 days and then the list has not been submitted. Going by the Constitution, they are only given 60 days after they are being sworn in for them to, you know, submit the list. But by now, the list has not been submitted. So, and that's the question as it stands. The list has not been submitted. So why is it that our president is seeming like they are going against the Constitution?
Well, it is said that he has 5 more days to go. Okay. So he has a 5-day provision to, you know, fine-tune, to recheck, and, you know, establish who and who is to be on the list. On the list for our screening. Okay. However, I would love that he comes out with a very good list. That's my focus. I'm not really particular about the delay that might have come in the process of trying to put names together, but whichever names is to come out with should be men of
who can deliver,
men of good profile, men who will say it and do it, not rogues, not thieves, not people that will come and, you know, say it is white where it is blue.
And then we'll still have to look again.
Not people that on their own in their offices snake will swallow money. Not people that, you know, things will be missing, and then you know, I just pray that God will enable the president in the 5 days we have left. He should come up with the list, and they will pray they are the people that will work for the interest of the country, the best of the poor in particular.
All right, thank you so much. That's the review from the Punch newspaper. We'll go for another break, and when we come back, we'll look at what Vanguard has to say concerning today's newspaper review. We'll be right back shortly. Okay, welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. You seal your morning dew, and this is the newspaper review. So let's quickly look at what Vanguard has to say. Tinubu urges deadlines, replace 4 names on ministerial list. That's about 4 days. 4 days to the expiration of the 60 days provision for the president to submit names of ministerial nominees to the Senate for screening and confirmation. So we still await that, and I hope that that is being done before the 4 days elapses. President Bonnet, okay, still that's still the same story. Story we have on Vanguard newspaper says petrol is now 617 naira without backup plans. This government will fail woefully, says Adebayo. So a quick story on that says that against the backdrop of the 17 naira petrol, which began selling last week, Prince Adewale Ebenezer Adebayo, the Social Democratic Party SDP presidential flag bearer in the February 23 general elections, says Nigerians had better brace up for more such increase is coming up on field. So I really don't want to believe that that would be the case. Our president has so much. He promises us that we should calm down. We should calm down, that he's working out something on for our favor. So let's hope that that's the case. We still also have, okay, still the same story. So we have here Shetima to represent Tinubu at Italy. Okay, Italy. That's the Russian summit that is coming up. So Shetima is to represent us. The Vice President Kashim Shetima will depart Abuja to represent President Bola Tinubu at two major international summits in Rome, Italy and St. Petersburg. That's in Russia. So that's what we have on Vanguard newspaper. So Engineer Ola, okay, let me start with you.
With me, okay.
So which of the story would you like to take?
Well, I will just touch the one that touched me the most.
Okay, which is?
Because charity, they say, begins at home. Same with the charitable situations, just as we have on this 617 price
increment in petroleum.
I'm really disheartened and unsatisfied by that decision by the oil marketers. I think they are taking advantage of the ignorance of the people, because I'm not an importer, and it's so difficult for me to come and say this is the amount they are supposed, and we don't know if there is price control, harnessed by the government to prioritize the pricing.
Because in space of 2 weeks, we've had increments in prices.
So if we have a new president May 29, and today we are seeing July, just 2 months,
price has been increased to twice.
And we have been choked. What knows is it going to be increased on monthly basis?
Well, what the Prince is saying here.
Are we heading for 1 million per liter? Because if we go this route, we will soon get to 1 million per liter.
Engineer,
people like the engineer that will be able to buy at the end of the month. Before you come in, engineer, this is my point. Government should please look into this matter. It's not fair. It's not fair. I remember the president saying, somebody asked him and he replied, in the native Yoruba tone that,
exactly. It says, be coming down. Let's calm down.
We want him to prove that
results. Yes.
He asks us to maintain that we should relax. We have been relaxed though, but the car is not relaxed. Fuel is not relaxed.
Prices of foods and other things are not relaxed.
So how are we going to be relaxed? And now you can take it off from there. Thank you.
You see, from my own opinion, I may have a very different view on that, what you are saying, talking about the price of petroleum in Nigeria today. There are two factors that determine the price of petroleum in Nigeria. One major factor is the exchange rate. Today in the market, you realize that $1 is about 815 naira. If you want to import fuel into this country, you go to the bank and then you exchange dollar with 850 naira to $1. That is the power of the naira now. And you go abroad to purchase refined oil, because we have crude oil in Nigeria. We cannot refine it due to many
lapses that we have.
when you bring the fuel into the country as a marketer, what is your landing cost? I can tell you, landing cost of fuel in Africa is not less than 700 naira. In Mali, it's over 1,000 naira, 1,500 and something naira. In Abidjan, that is Cote d'Ivoire, it's the same thing, about almost 900 naira. In Ghana, it's about 800 naira. So now, when you now compare this market, you realize that we still enjoy that lesser fuel price in Nigeria. You know, we have oil in Nigeria, but what happens to our refineries? That's the big question mark. So you see, there's nothing we can do. I even believe that the oil price will increase maybe to 700 naira later on, because as a businessman, importer of fuel, what determines your market price in Nigeria is that exchange rate. And again, look at the exchange rate. When Tinubu came into power, he said, okay, I want the exchange rate to have uniform price. You know, before he became Nigerian president, some people will now change dollars to 450 naira per $1. While some will change it for 600 naira per $1. You understand? But now it is the same price. So as of now, what we have to work on is how do we develop Nigeria economically? How do we develop our economy? Because now it has really affected every commodity in Nigeria.
Okay, engineer, sorry to cut you there. If you said, if you claim that it boils down to the pricing or
in dollar increment,
what have you, I think there is no way in the part of the world where the consumption of fuel, oil, and all what have you are not being subsidized.
Exactly.
We were enjoying that before now. There are claims that there are ghosts, you know, that the subsidy is untrue. It gets it that being like there are corruption surrounding subsidy removal, and then the president had to take it away. Before he took it away, what he was relying on is the Dangote refinery, with the hope that it will start working. I think they have said by the end of July, and before end of July they had promised a particular date that it will start working. What have you? There is no guarantee that by the end of July
that it's going to take effect.
So why take that on? You know, why did they put the house together before removing the subsidy? Why didn't you say pay till when our own refineries are working with their products we can have at a cheaper price? Because for me it's an insensitive decision to take away the subsidy when there is not an alternative. Now you are now promising palliative. On what ground?
Thank you very much. You see, on that note, if you are borrowing money for subsidy, your borrower will give you certain conditions before you can get a loan from IMF or from the World Bank. And they will stipulate that devalue your naira. So when you devalue your naira, the naira does not have purchasing power. There will be inflation in the country. And when there's inflation in the country, Nigeria, you remember that we don't export, we import majorly into this country, and we need dollars to buy. And our naira has been devalued by the IMF or World Bank. That is the condition, and we are still borrowing. So all the subsidies, we've been borrowing money to pay this subsidy for these subsidies. And it will get to a stage there will be nobody to lend us any money again, to give us any loan. At that particular point, what are we going to do? It has gone to a stage of no return. You understand? Before we get to that stage, something has to be done. And this is why this present government is taking this decision, though it's very, very harsh.
What I'm saying to you, sir, it's not the harshness that people are going through.
Okay.
It's how insensitive we are.
The matter is
to governing life. You can take a loan for your family. It is to maintain the peace
family,
of it is insensitive for a leader to withdraw anything that brings peace to life of your people. It's not free for crying out loud.
You don't understand what I'm telling you.
What I'm saying is they get the free for free.
No, you don't understand.
No matter the price at which marketers are selling in Nigeria today,
you don't.
The government officials, the Senate, the whatever, They have the allowances to get it for free. They just get trucks, they fill their tanks. You know, they don't know, they don't buy. This affects an average Nigeria. Can you imagine people who earn 30,000 naira salary, people who earn 40,000 naira salary, 50,000 naira? How do you expect them to cope? See the way people are trekking. For how long are we going to maltreat citizens in the name of policies, introduction of the we are trying to cope? It's nonsense.
All right. Thank you, guys. So this is where we'll just you know, go on a quick break after now, because after now we have to bring in our sport analysts to, you know, tell us what we have on the world of sports. So thank you guys for your contribution. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned and go nowhere. It's still your lunch. It's still your morning dew and the newspaper review. We'll be right back. So much, viewers, for staying tuned on your morning dew, and it's still your newspaper review. So with me, I have a sport analyst in the house, and he's going to tell us what we have in the world of sports. So thank you, Adeleke, for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here this morning.
So, Mr. Adekunle. Well, yes, Mr. Adekunle. Yes, Mr. Adekunle. Adekeye. So could you please introduce yourself better?
Well, Adekeye is my name.
Okay, good. Yeah. So could you tell us what we have today?
Yes, the major news that is happening in the world of sport is the 2023 Women's World Cup that started last week. And then that has been the major news everywhere. And it is a good news that Nigeria started on a good note. Nigeria played a goalless draw with Canada.
Wow.
It was a very tough match, but the lady really proved themselves because they played against Olympic champion, that is Canada. It was a goalless draw. But we are playing on Thursday against the host country. So one of the host country, Australia, and Onoma Ebi, the skipper of the team, said something yesterday that Nigerians should pray for them very well. One, because they are playing host country. When you play against host country, they support. They have 90% support because they are playing at home. Even before your players, your supporters could get to the field, if you don't take care, they have occupied virtually everywhere. Nigeria cannot move anybody, apart from the supporters clubs that are in Australia and New Zealand. How many people are we going to move from Nigeria to Australia? Australians are playing at home. Even they want to declare, they want to have a public holiday within that short period of time so that many of them can go to stadium to go and watch.
Wow.
But we're having a very good news for all Nigerians. Rashida Tajibade and Alima Tainde will come back on Thursday against Australia. They couldn't play against Canada because they collected yellow card at the last WAFCON.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, they collected red card, so they couldn't play against Canada. However, we lost a very good player on last week when we played against Canada. Deborah Abiodun collected red card. She has been a very good player in the defense. Even the coach, Randy Waldron, said, "Oh, this girl, you shouldn't have played like that." As at yesterday evening, the coach was lamenting that who is going to occupy that position. However, there's nothing they can do about it. It is 11-11, whether you like it or not. Bring your 11, we bring our own 11. But we are praying for Falcons. We are seriously praying for them that God should support. If they can win that match, then qualification for next round is sure. They just need a win in that match. Even a draw, they are still online. Another surprise result at the Women's World Cup is Jamaica, debutant, playing at the World Cup for the first time, played a goalless draw with France. France is ranked number 5th in the world in female football. And I think Jamaica is around 62 or 63 or so. But they played a very good football. The African champion, South Africa, they are the African champion. They lost 2-1 to Sweden, their first match. We believe other Africans. It is only Nigeria that has picked a draw. Morocco is playing today. If Morocco should draw today or win, it's going to be an upset because they are playing another superpower in female football. That is Germany. Germany has won twice. Germany is a country that both male and female football, when you are playing against them, they fear no foe. They don't care. If they want to lose, they lose. If they want to win, they win. And they don't win with small margin. That's my problem. And that is where Morocco will have a lot to do today.
Okay.
Before this World Cup, Germany played a friendly, I think with Haiti also. They beat them, I think 13-0. So they are superpower. If Morocco should win today, oh my God, we are going to celebrate it in Africa. If they should win today, it's like Nigeria beating Australia, the host country. So female football, I think that is what we have now in the world of sports. And I want to employ women at home, like my uncle this morning. Watch. It's fun. It's very good. Watch female football now. If you don't watch the live, you can watch the highlights. By now you should get to know one or two of them. So I think that's what we have in the world of sport this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adekunle. Thank you so much for joining us on the world of sports. So we're going back to our newspaper review, and stay tuned. We'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's still your newspaper review, and with me is still my wonderful co-host, and it's been a fantastic and amazing time right here on set. And you know, going back to what we discussed earlier, you know, about the increment in fuel price, I really wish that we could have, you know, a point where, you know, during the cashless policy, you know, when we had the cashless crisis where work days had to be reduced for people, you know, to make sure that they can meet up, you know, rather than have to go Mondays to Friday, you know, they have to go like maybe 2-3 times a week and do major working from home, you know, so that, because this increment is really killing. So I really wish we could also do that at this point, so that we'd have people, because the trekking is too much and the masses are complaining.
On this
you know,
note, let me quickly drop my because we are signing out, and before I do, let me just establish this fact. Over the years, Nigerians have never benefited from government policies. Every time they come up with an idea, it is to push the poor, you know, to becoming poorest. And that's not fair. Why can't government, people at the helm of leadership, be a hero for once? Be a hero of education, so, you know, making life better. Is it that easy? Why not just become a hero for the people? Save life. What do you benefit from people suffering? I don't get it.
well,
Why are people wanting to run out of the country? If I'm a leader, does that make sense? I'm the father of my house, and my child don't want to leave the family. Does that make sense? Okay. I should sit up and take responsibility. Okay,
well, it's just what we're going through. It's just what we're expressing.
I know he's new in the office. I pray he gets it well. I pray God helps him. I pray he's able to do everything he promised. But the way things are started, though, is not doing well.
Thank you so much. So, Engineer Ola, what's your last word for the people?
Well, we just have to pray that God will give President Bola Tinubu the serenity of the mind and the courage
exactly
to do what is right and be able to lift up Nigerian economy. That's my take on that.
Okay, you know, like, let me borrow Engineer Ola's word. Be Nigerian. By Nigerian. Let's be hopeful, and surely all of this will come to pass. Like our president has earlier promised, let's calm down. Let's still maintain sanity. Let's still maintain peace. Let everything still go organized as it has always been. And as we trust God, we know and hope that He will come through for us as He has always done. He has never left us. He has never left us, and He would not start now. So to this point, I say thank you so much, viewers, for joining us on today's segment of Newspaper Review on your Morning Dew. Till we come your way, same time, same station, it's still the Cactv. We sign out. Have a blessed week ahead.